Once again, this is AkronHipHop.com. This is the website where we focus on issues affecting our community. When you see me, you're looking at black consciousness, black intelligence, and of course, black love.
Black love is in the building. What's up with
this
you,
This is
Rick?
definitely an issue, man, affecting our community always. That's the subject of Malcolm X. I want to first of all thank those who have watched the video I did last week on Malcolm X. If you haven't, go down to the website, AkronHipHop.com, scroll down, and check it out. But there's some things I want to follow up on just real briefly. First of all, check out the Netflix documentary, the 6-part series, and watch it, in its proper context, of course. But some things I wanted to follow up on. These two men that were arrested with this guy named Thomas Hare. I broke down Thomas Hare last week. These two men, Norman 3X Butler and Thomas 15X Johnson, they were arrested days after the assassination at the ballroom. They weren't arrested at the ballroom. One of the man's doctors, Thomas 15X Johnson, his doctor had testified for him at trial and said, I knew my client couldn't walk because he couldn't have been there because he couldn't even walk that day. So they didn't care. And he was on Bev's, back in the 1990s, BET had a show called Our Voices, hosted by Bev Smith. I got a copy of this program. He's on that program back in 95, and he told before he got arrested, he was told how it was going to go down. His co-defendant, Norman 3X Butler, these two were well known in Mosque No. 7 in New York. And they had some other things hanging over their head as far as with the police. So when this thing happened with Malcolm X, the police were going to get them anyway. And he was told that before he even got arrested. He said, such told me, they're going to come and get you, they're going to come get Norman 3X Butler, and that's going to be the end of it. And that's exactly how it happened, according to his own words. But I just want to say that a lot of times, man, when you're part of a righteous cause, if you got some other things hanging on to you, like some thug activity, some criminal activity, the enemy will use that weakness to get you. Okay, they did the same thing with Fred Hampton. Okay, it was a guy named William O'Neill who was a part of his security. He had some charges hanging over him, and he was approached by the FBI, and they said, "Okay, we need you to do this, and we'll let this go." You know what I'm saying? He gave the blueprint to Fred Hampton's apartment, and when the Cook County Attorney's Office came there, wasn't the Chicago Police, Cook County Attorney's Office came there and did that raid. Fred Hampton was shot in his sleep. It wasn't a shootout. He was asleep. Right. How could you have a shootout in a man's sleep? But the point I'm making is William O'Neill gave them the blueprint. And you can go get Eyes on the Prize documentary and watch William O'Neill confess to everything I just told you right now. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Watch his own mouth do the talking. But I want people to think about this for a minute. Malcolm had a street life before he became a Muslim, before he joined the Nation of Islam. Malcolm was not stupid. You mean to tell me that your house is firebombed 1 week and then the next week you having a meeting and everybody doing no security check? That don't sound like Malcolm. That sounds like somebody else. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're not that stupid. Your life is in danger. You don't lighten up security, you tighten up security. So how did the killers know they can come in that day and not be checked and come in with their weapons? Prior to that, all the old AAU meetings had security check, except on that day. That's the first day you didn't have no security check. How do they know we can come here and we can carry this on our coat? The point I'm making is there's something on the inside going on, something on the inside of the old AAU that's going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's the point I wanted to make. You know what I'm saying? Obvious right there. That's obvious right there. Don't tell me a brother named Charles Kenyatta. He's in the documentary called The Real Malcolm X that came out in '92. This was the same CBS documentary that Gene Roberts was in too. He said when he got to the door, this is an OAU member, when he got to the door and saw nobody doing security checks, he was like, "What's going on?" And somebody told him, "Oh, this is Malcolm's request." He was like, "Don't give me that. Don't give me that." He just somebody here playing games. Don't give me that mess. But just something to think about. I want to raise these questions. Something to think about. Also, attorney Percy Sutton. He was Malcolm's friend. He was Malcolm's lawyer. His offices were broken into on March 1st, 1965, and specific documents were taken. Now, who would do that? Who would know, number one, how to get in there and how to get out without being, caught? And who would know what specific documents to take? I'm just raising these things so people can get a higher perspective besides just, two black groups fighting. It's bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? It's something bigger going on there. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist either. I want to say that first of all. I reject that terminology. It's kind of insulting. When someone gives you something to think about beyond what you get on the news, on the TV, what you saw on the newspaper, whatever, just listen to what that person's saying. You know what I'm saying? Listen to what that person's saying. Also, I want to say this too. This is something I find always strange. I don't care who get offended, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The Shabazz family. I never heard Betty Shabazz or any of his daughters, with the exception of one, talk about the people who actually pulled the gun on on her husband and on their father. I never heard them. You drag Farrakhan's name in the mud. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the interviews. I've seen them on TV and stuff. You know, but you never talk about the people who actually pulled the trigger. A lot of the ministers talking about Malcolm. It wasn't just Farrakhan, but you highlight Farrakhan because he's popular. You don't highlight James Shabazz. You don't highlight Bernard Kushner. You don't highlight John. You know, it's different ones, man. You know what I'm saying? But you highlight Farrakhan because he's popular. But these are things that people need to think about. If I was around the Shabazz family, I would have asked him. I never heard you talk about the people who actually pulled the trigger on him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can always find niggas to do the job, man. It's unfortunate, but with us, it's always one of us that would do it. Whether it be Tupac, whether it be it's all Fred Hampton. It's always somebody in our organization that's setting us up for the enemy, and they move off somewhere else. They move on to something else, do something. Same thing with Martin Luther King. We'll get in that next week. Next month I want to do something on Martin Luther King. That's his anniversary of his assassination. You know what I'm saying? But that's already been solved. A lot of people know that's already been solved, man. Did you know that? Remember Judge Joe Brown? Everybody knows Judge Joe Brown, right? People don't know his history before he got on TV. See, he was the original judge on the 1999 civil trial, the King civil trial down in Memphis. He kept saying that this gun don't match the wound of these pictures of Martin Luther King. He kept saying that. They kept trying to tell him, stop doing that. Stop mentioning. Stop bringing that up. He got dismissed from the case. Then the producers, Big Ticket Television of Judge Judy, contacted him, and that's how he got his show started. They got him off the case and put him on TV.
For tap dancification?
Yes. His show, his Judge Judy show, produced by the same people. They got him off the case, off the civil trial, 1999,
and give him something like it.
And said, "Hey man, you want to start you want me on TV? Okay, well, do this.
Get him out the way.
Just get him out the way." But we'll get into that next week. But like I said, Malcolm X always comes up, in Black history, and he's definitely a significant figure. But just understand the man, study his life, and see things in its proper perspective. And also realize, if you read the autobiography of Malcolm X, there's some missing chapters. That's not the whole book. And these are some books I want to recommend to the viewer right here, man. These two books right here, man. This is a compilation of documents released through the Freedom of Information Act. It shows you how heavily...
Wait a minute, I got this book.
...monitored Malcolm X was.
I got that book.
Phone calls, people around him, people watching him, when he checked in, when he answered the phone, all that.
Back when he was little, Malcolm Little. This is like real...
This is significant too, because this came out in the 70s. So you get more closer to the actual event, you get more original stuff. And some, people need to, any student, any person who considers themselves serious about Malcolm X, need to, study these things, man. Don't get caught up in the hype and the emotionalism. And let me say this about the Malcolm X movie real quick. Don't expect everything to be in one movie about a person's life. You know what I'm saying? You hear this all the time. Well, how come he didn't talk about Africa? Well, how come he didn't talk about... It's a 2-hour something movie, man. People are not going to sit through a 5-hour movie. It's only so much you can get into a movie. And one more thing I want to add to it. Don't expect any public documentary to be... whenever they put Malcolm on TV, there's somebody who's putting him on TV for a reason. Yeah, we don't have the power to raise Malcolm from the dead, but the white media do. So when you see Malcolm on the TV, on the magazine and stuff like that, there's something behind that. You know what I'm saying? Something behind that. When I was in the Army, they were showing the documentary Brother Minister by Jack Baxter. And some foolish black people continue to quote this white man named Jack Baxter as some authority on Malcolm X. He's a clown. And he has a ulterior motive. It's been proven, countless times. But they were showing that, to get the youth to check out what Jack Baxter got back to say. He's a clown.
Big old clown. Well, listen, I want to tell you, you've been rocking Malcolm X since before it became re-trendy again.
Right. I had a big coat back in the day, man, with Malcolm X on the back.
You had that shirt. You was rocking it on your promo picture when you a while back.
Right, back in October.
Yeah, back in Rocktober, and you was rocking that. But look, here's the good thing, man. It's on platforms like this to not dig into the graves and try to resurrect the dead. It's on platforms like this to not let our ancestors fade into the sunset.
Right.
We need to keep them up in the forefront. And with brothers like yourself, Brother G-Mack always help us do that. Brother Kofi always help us do that. So listen, in closing, man, take us out of here, buddy.
Tune in next time. Another edition of Weekly Cypher.